Alright, this is Dr. Emmanuel Rich. So let's go straight to the reason for this video. As I got a request to make a video about the cost of living in Saudi Arabia. I know you must have seen different other videos, but I think the person that asked this question is an optometrist, and because I do some optometry content concerning Saudi Arabia, so he asked that question to have a view of how you can sustain yourself practicing as an optometrist in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Although I'll be talking as an optometrist, but the view or my explanation will be a broad one. So before we talk about the cost of living, we should talk about how much are you being paid, how much is your accommodation, your transportation, your feeding, your internet subscriptions, and other miscellaneous things you might encounter. So based on Saudi Arabia, the cost of living is generally higher than maybe your home country. For I'm a Nigerian, most of the things we buy here is way more expensive in Saudi Arabia compared to my home country. But that is not the metrics we use to judge these two things. Okay, when you are being employed in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia as a medical practitioner or an optometrist or a nurse, one thing is sure, that you'll be given an accommodation. I'm very certain of an optometrist, you'll be given an accommodation. Most of the times, 90% of the time, your accommodation will be very close to your work location. So if it's not close to work location, they will have a general means of transporting you to your work location. So accommodation and transportation is usually taken care of by your employer. Also, the cost of electricity is also taken care of by your employer, because wherever you are living, the employer will be in charge of everything that concerns the accommodation where you are living, except in a case where you want to live outside where the employer provided for you. So that's another expenses on its own. So you bear the cost of wherever you chose to live. So, but for people that maybe the employer allow them to get a place of their own, some of the times you'll be given a stipend for that accommodation you find for yourself. So I think there's a way they balance it up, but generally your accommodation is supposed to be taken care of by your employer. So when it comes to cost of living, you will take out accommodation, you will take out electricity, and you will take out transportation. These are the primary responsibilities of your employer. Now, we will be talking about the two basic things. Certainly, the cost is on you, and which is your feeding and your subscription, internet subscription. These are the two things that is on you. Anything, any expenses, any cost to bear on these things, they are on you. But frankly, like I said, we'll be working with a practical salary, a base salary for everyone. As an optometrist, let's say you are on the lowest level. Let's say you are being paid 5,000 real for your feeding. No matter what you want to be eating, 1,000 real is supposed to be enough to take care of you in a month. So if you restrict yourself a little bit, 700 real will be able to feed you comfortably, only you, in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So if you are being paid 5,000 real, 1,000 real should be able to take care of your feeding and internet subscription. Let's say your feeding took 800 real, and internet subscription, most of the times you might be using a subscription of 150 real or 100 real, or at most 200 real, depending on how you consume your internet data. For me personally, I have a group, shared a Wi-Fi. So in that case, I pay only 50 real every month. But the disadvantage of that one is that when you make moves to distant places, you won't have connection to your internet except when you are back to your house. So if you want to have a broad internet subscription, so you might not consider the Wi-Fi. I did the Wi-Fi because I don't have a lot of places I used to go. I'm always within my vicinity. So 22 hours in a day, I spend it in either my office or in the house. And the office and the house, they are very close together. So I use the same Wi-Fi in my office, I use it in the house. So I found that one very economical for me. So I only use the Wi-Fi of 50 real. So I spend 50 real. So in that case, if you have such an offer, you can use something like that to also reduce your expenses. And but if you don't have any Wi-Fi, any such Wi-Fi stuff around you, you can be subscribing 100 to 150 real every month. Then your feeding can be 800 at most. 800 is enough to take care of you. At most 1,000. So let's say you are eating excessively, you are drinking, you are doing everything you want to do. Let's say 1,500 will be so much more to take care of you. So you have around 3,500 to keep for yourself. So this is basically what you'll be doing. So if you are being paid more than 5,000, you will have more money left over. So most of the times, people in Saudi Arabia, people working in Saudi Arabia, will be able to save 70% comfortably. They will be able to save 70% of their monthly salary comfortably. They'll be able to save it. The only thing most of the times that makes it so difficult is back home, because if you have family back home, maybe you have your wife back home, you have your parents, your siblings going to school, you have a lot of responsibilities back home. You can't be saving 70% while your people are back home crying. And the main reason we are here is to also help and do something back home. So most of the times, looking back home and with the things you are doing here and with other of your engagements, your career engagements, and every other thing you are doing, you are spending money on, you can comfortably save 50% while visiting and doing other things. So cost of living is high, but you will be able to take care of it with the amount you are being paid. As long as you are at that base salary that I mentioned, you'll be able to take care of anything you face. So the only thing that might take much money from you, if you are the type that buy luxurious things, because you can always afford luxurious things. If you buy big phones, buy big shoes, big clothes, expensive watch, expensive materials, gold. So if you spend on those things, you might find it hard to save more, and that is when the cost will be not affordable for you. But if you live a normal life, you buy things when you need it most, then you'll be able to afford anything and live comfortably. And secondly, if your family is not living with you in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, also the example I gave will also make sense. But if your family is here, the 1,000, 1,500 might also increase a little to 1,500, 2,000, depending on what you people are doing, depending on how you people spend on food and groceries and other things. But even as a family, 1,500 should be able to take care of you, your wife, and your kid in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia every month. So this is how it goes. So I hope this video answered your question and also your curiosity about how the cost of living look like in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So everything depends on how you spend. Nobody takes out money from you, because the major things that used to take money out is being taken care of, which is your housing, that's accommodation, your electricity, your transportation. These are being taken care of. So the only thing that will be making you to spend more will now be your feeding, the way you feed, the gadgets you buy, groceries, water. But water, because we don't drink tap water here, we don't often drink, in fact, we don't drink tap water here. So we used to buy water, bottled water, 20 liters of water, we used to buy those ones. So that can cost you up to 50 real every month. So that's how the spending can go. There is high cost of living, but the spending, you can take care of it depending on how you live your life and depending on how you buy things and do your things. So that is it. Thank you.